Dead by Daylight hot takes that get increasingly more spicy. Dead by Daylight is good. I know deep down we all hate this piece of shit game, but even deeper down, we love this game. These past 9 years have been a truly beautiful experience, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Unfun strategies need to exist in Dead by Daylight. Most people would agree that the chase aspect is the most fun part of the game, so it should always be the main focus. However, having alternative strategies is necessary for variety. Having games where people camp, tunnel, rush gens, and stealth help make the chase-focused games feel better in comparison. There's also the fact that some playstyles serve an important purpose. If you completely remove tunneling, new killers will almost never get a kill. Without stealth for survivors, chase-oriented killers will almost never lose games. As long as the optimal way to play is the most fun, less fun strategies are fine to keep around. Some killers are meant to be weaker than others. Nurse is the only killer that moves slower than survivors. She also has a power that lets her teleport anywhere within range and immediately attack. Not an easy power to use. Trapper, however, places traps on the ground. Now, if these two killers were the same strength, why would people bother trying to learn the harder killer? There's also the fact that killers are designed with certain themes in mind. Wraith has received so many buffs over the years to help him keep up with newer killers. What was once an ambush killer meant to rely on stealth has become one that can brute force chases. You go invisible, get close to the survivor running away, uncloak and hit them. Not overpowered, but not stealthy either. I still do think some killers could use some balancing, but not at the cost of removing their intended design and identity. Gen regression perks are so strong that if you could cut their effects in half, they would still be the best perks. Stopping survivors from escaping is the goal of the killer. Survivors escape by completing the objective, so perks that directly delay the objective from progressing will always be invaluable. Chase perks can be countered by avoiding chases. Stealth perks are countered by not being snuck up on. You're not always able to act upon the value of information perks. Regression perks give you time, and that time is always useful. Just cleanse versus plague. There are so many downsides to being infected besides just being injured. You're constantly making noise, you infect things, which give away your location, and can infect others. There's a popular add-on that plagues run that reveal your location constantly when you're fully infected. There are many perks that Plague can bring that punish you for playing injured. Plague also starts with a corrupted fountain and can have up to 3 using add-ons. You also have to depend on your team to not go down instantly in a chase. Yes, Corrupt Purge is strong, but if she is constantly using it, everyone is most likely not infected, and it takes a while to actually get someone infected again. Trust me, start cleansing against Plague and see how much you start escaping. Self-care is a good perk. Having the ability to heal yourself unconditionally is absolutely strong. The heal speed is slow, but there are still 100 scenarios where this perk is useful. Here, I use it to self-care to trick Legion into hitting me with his power, wasting his time. Here, I heal to 99%, then bait the killer to leave the hook and chase me, before healing to full. Here, I pressure the killer into kicking a pallet to stop me from healing. People hate this perk because newer players waste a lot of time healing with it unnecessarily, but that doesn't make the perk bad. Self-care is the equivalent of a Swiss Army knife, useful in a lot of situations, but rarely the best option. Streaming has done severe damage to Dead by Daylight. Streaming created a new reason to play games, which is fostering an audience. For most people, you have to stick to a singular game and stream it regularly if you want to grow that audience. And I don't care how much you like a game, if you play it for hours a day, 5 days a week, you're going to get sick of it. When that eventually happens, you infect your audience with that same feeling. This becomes a problem when you realize that DBD is one of the most popular streaming games around. When enough popular streamers complain about something, it gets changed. When streamers label a certain character or mechanic as lame, their audience pushes that narrative on the rest of the community. Meta strategies are developed and circulated almost instantly, as streamers are usually the first ones to adopt them into their playstyle. It's an unfortunate side effect of people's desire to make it playing video games. Hag takes skill. Most people think of Hag as the trap killer that's really good at camping. This is true, but there's so much more to this killer. Hag is almost forced to play around her power, as she's naturally slower than most killers. She's required to pick areas of the map to focus her power around. You also have to change trap placement based on how the survivors play. If survivors start ignoring loops and running away in a straight line, you have to start trapping in a wider range. Body block traps are placed where if you teleport instantly, the survivor can't run past you. Traps placed at just the right distance from a window can trigger when the survivors start a vault, getting you free grabs. Placing traps to the side causes the survivor camera to turn towards it, giving you time to catch up in a chase. There's so many little interactions that mark the difference between a regular Hag and one that knows their stuff. Trickster is the best range killer. He has a combination of extremely quick wind-up time and a rapid throw rate. This gives him the ability to land his ranged attack in way more scenarios. Knives also can bounce off objects to hit survivors. This means that if you're good enough at Trickster, you can get hits at every single loop in the game. The skill ceiling for this character is crazy high, and if you still doubt me, watch a top Trickster play and see how oppressive this killer can be. Behavior Interactive understands the game way better than we do. When people like you or me analyze the game, we look at it usually from one angle, balance, and we're really good at that. But there's so many more things that go into creation for DBD. For example, back in the day, people wanted sprint burst nerf. We offered many suggestions that would have worked, but it never really got changed. The devs explained later that they tested a bunch of different designs and none of them felt good to use. Aesthetic, feel, creativity, and balance, all of these things matter. And when you design tons of new things every few months, sometimes one aspect falls behind compared to the others. The devs don't suck because they release a perk that's too strong or a killer with an abusable mechanic. They're human, and they're doing better than literally anyone else on the planet can. That's why we're still playing this game 9 years later.